And I also want to use this opportunity, Clint, to say thank you. You may be surprised, I'm catching you surprised, but I want to publicly say thank you, because when I ventured out, or when I was thinking of venturing out, you were one of those people that I pulled on constantly. Like, remember our coffee breaks at Starbucks? I'm like, Clint, I need to talk to you. Are you available? And you said, yeah, set it up. And I would say, Clint, I'm thinking about Africa and trade and retail. What do you think? And you ask me questions and you give me ideas and you made lots of introductions for me. Wow, thank you. I also remember years ago, I had my Toyin Mystery website. Do you remember this? And I sent it to you. And you gave me, I was like, check this out. What do you think? Because that time I was moving from being a corporate staff to being an entrepreneur. And till today, I remember what you said. Should I tell you?
Tell me, please.
Okay, Clint is a very direct person, and I love that about you. You were like, this website looks good, but I don't know what you can do for me. That was what you said. You were like, it looks beautiful. This website is good, but Toy, I don't know. What can you do for me? Like, spell out what services are you offering? So that was what you said. I was like, oh, that's true. I have no idea. So well, thank you.
I had learned that lesson the hard way myself.
Yes, but thank you. I remember it so clearly. So every time I'm updating my website, I always think about, oh, this website looks beautiful, but what are people walking away with? So thank you again. So Clint, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. So you do have a nice setup there. Do you want to introduce us to your nice setup, your facility, and then what you do as well?
Sure. It's really great. It's the first time that we've had an opportunity with COVID to really be able to, do much from what we call the Collaboration Center. And so this is a special room in our new office. It's really about taking any sort of competitive environment away and just being able to collaborate, being in a space that's comfortable, to be able to learn and make decisions. As part of our broader office here in Northwest Arkansas, this is really home base for us. And our company is really focused on anything that is retail. I think to your video that you made there, the part that I think is really futuristic was that was really around grocery pickup 6 years ago. And that would have been a time when people were arguing, will anyone actually pick up groceries on the internet? I had a job 10 years ago or 11 years ago that was for a company saying, if this e-commerce thing is applicable to grocery, what would that mean for our entire supply chain? Let's figure that out. And so now it's just right in front of us. People are buying groceries. So we have taken the approach in our company that where people buy stuff is called retail, whether that's a wet market, whether that is in a convenience store, whether that is in a department store, whether that is online, DTC, subscription. That is where people are exchanging money for stuff is really what retail is, and these are all channels within it. And I think, particularly as we think about international and what we see in the channel blending there, that is really what it equates to, right? It's one of the oldest forms of business, and we're here to support that. Long way of getting to, we're here to support that. Whether that is in the supply chain, whether that is in the tech stack, whether that is in the on-platform advertising, whether that is in packaging design, whether that is in brick and mortar, we are here to help companies within what we consider to be the retail ecosystem, help them find success.
Fantastic. I'm telling you, the video I showed is really, it was a famous one. Let me share even the back end. You're right. At that time, it was a pilot project, okay? That video was pilot 1 in Northwest Arkansas, and the leaders were actually even trying to convince the board of Walmart that this was going to be the solution, okay? Correct. So, and it was a concept that was actually brought in from Europe. So it was something that Asda, which was, arm of Walmart in Europe, it was something they had succeeded in implementing in Europe, and the US market was thinking deeply about digital disruption, realizing that the existing supply chain for Walmart was designed for baby boomers who love to come into the store and walk around and do this and that. And they were thinking, okay, we need to cultivate the next two generations that are digital natives. They're not going to want to come. In fact, we also had this data where people were using Walmart stores as like a catalog. You come in, you check out the TV, and then right there in the store, you use Walmart Wi-Fi, and you go to the competitor website and like check out. You walk away with nothing. So, so yeah, I was deep in that technology strategy team, and what then happened was my husband saw this new pilot and it's like, Tony, I think you're going to love it. It's for somebody like you. You're so busy and you're all over the place and you don't like going to the store. I think this will be it for you. And I then tried it and it changed so many things enough that I wrote a blog. Okay. I wrote a blog about it. Like, this is a game changer. Like, if it changed my life, then busy working moms would love this. Guess what? My blog went through the chain up to the very top of the house. And they were like, Tony, you just made a case for us. This is what we've been trying. This is what we've been trying to tell the leadership. Do you mind putting that story in a video for us? And I was like, oh, yeah, sure. So they sent like a Hollywood movie producer to my house. We did two different versions. That's the public facing version that ran for over a year online, but there was an internal one that they pitched to the board. And that's one of the reasons, not reasons, but it helped push their agenda forward. And the board said, okay, let's roll it out. They got the final, because, with the size of a company like Walmart, you can't turn on a dial. You can, just because you have this shiny object and an executive comes in and say, oh, let's put money behind it. They're not going to, you have to really sell it, because it did take about 5 years to roll it through the chain just in time for COVID. So now, bringing this conversation to the impact of COVID, how many retail chains did not prepare for the digital landscape? Like, what are you seeing? What are they experiencing now? Are people more prepared than others?
Well, I think that the reality is nobody was ready for acceleration.
Acceleration.
And nobody was ready for the kind of scale improvement that would happen so quickly. And the sad reality is that the retail channel, as a general, probably even the manufacturers, it was all built on optimization. It's really got away from redundancy and risk mitigation and really had moved into a full-on pro-scale optimization plan. And so I think the disruptive elements that we saw because of the change in behavior, because we saw the change in shopping pattern, really caused a system failure in the back of the supply chain that made it even worse. And so I don't know that anybody had really prepared for it in that sense, but there were companies that had done a lot of work, similar to the video that you showed about Walmart. There were a lot of companies that had made headway and were building capability, right? Were they there? No, but had they taken the time to build that capability up? I think yes, and then they were able to benefit from that. You think about Walmart, you think about Nordstrom, you think about Home Depot, and all very different companies and all very different cultures, and yet what I think is really fascinating about them is less about their reaction to the e-commerce part of it and more about how they put problem solving to work, which is just part and parcel of the culture of those companies. And they were able to find and solve those challenges faster and quicker and more efficiently and get into a test and learn and iteration environment far faster. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. So, wow. Here's the other thing that happened a couple of years ago, because I'm also seeing this through the lens of leadership, radical leadership, where, do you remember Walmart acquiring Jet.com for $3 billion? Do you remember that story?
I sure do.
Looking back now, that was a big bet. And that was now I feel like Doug McMillan would feel justified. Like looking back to that, because when they made that decision, I think that was the highest buyout